All right, welcome into the program this afternoon. Thank you guys for checking us out. It is awesome to do a little bit with you guys today. For those of you who don't know, that are new to the program, my name is Rob Sanders. I have worked doing radio forever. This is called the Run. That's still called the Rundown. Show I used to do on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now I get to do it on the Carolina Jackpot channel. And of course, yeah, on the Rob and Kale Facebook page. Apparently, Wednesday night, I appreciate Rec Talk and Sancho, who are concerned for my safety because some dumb gump got pissed off because I told him that you lost to Vanderbilt and you don't belong in the college football playoff. And then it goes to infuse my point. When you are a simpleton and the only thing that you have in your head is, but the ACC, whenever you say that, I automatically deduct 70 IQ points. Okay? So like 70, if your IQ is about 70, you can make your bed, write your name, etc. I automatically deduct 70 from you if the first words you utter out of your mouth are, but the ACC. It just shows that you are a dumb person. So anyway, we can talk about that today. If you want to respond to what that guy said, fine. Understand, I've done enough radio in my time and pissed enough people off that I don't care if someone comes at me and says the things that he said. It truly doesn't bother me. And I know people are like, man, but he said he wanted you to, you can go back and listen to the clip. All right. Basically, he wanted me to off myself. He said that he was going to blow my brains out and do things with my wife and all that stuff. Okay. All of it is bullshit. Okay. First of all, I don't believe him. Generally, people who say things like that are typically pussies and they don't do anything anyway. But there's that. I stand by what I said, and I think most people agree with me. If Alabama didn't lose to Vanderbilt, they'd be in the playoffs. If Alabama didn't get fucking nut drug by Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns, they would have been in the playoffs. These are things that have nothing to do with who the ACC champion is, whatever else. It all comes back to Alabama. If you would have won those 2 games against teams that are in the bottom third of the SEC, you'd have been in a playoff game. Orange Flavored says some crazy stuff here. Imagine driving out to Norman, Oklahoma just to kick a field goal. Very good, sir. Big Orange says, I bet Clemson has some dank. I've gotten some from Louisiana once and it was gas, but it wasn't around the Baton Rouge area or anything. Okay. If you want to talk about the old hippie lettuce, I'm fine with that. But getting back to what I was talking about, that's why they're out. And there's nothing to I can sit here and tell you this stuff, but try to make an argument for them, but it's really hard to. It has nothing to like the Alabama. Wasn't the Alabama athletics director saying something along the lines of, well, why should we schedule a tough playoff game or a tough non-conference schedule? Did I really read that somewhere? You stupid fucking hillbillies. You didn't lose a game out of conference. You lost to fucking Vanderbilt. How could you possibly sit here and say, well, what's the merit of scheduling a non-conference game that's tough? Well, we shouldn't do that. Yeah. No. Alabama's just different. That's all there is to it. I can tell you this too, and I really, really believe this. if Alabama goes 9-3 next year, DeBoer will be fired. Yep, DeBoer will be fired. So there's that. Fireball says Texas versus Clemson. It's on the 21st. They play at 4:00. I say a lot of dumb things on this show sometimes that come across dumb, but some of these things I hit pretty close. One of them is that, or one of them I think that's going to happen, is that Clemson's going to hang in that game. People think that Texas is going to blow them out. Okay. Whatever you need to tell yourself. Now, I know there's a lot of, I know that Alabama cocksucker the other night, he's sitting in his truck on the 21st. I don't know what he's hauling then, but he'll be jerking his dick hoping that Texas blows Clemson out. Guarantee you that. But if you're a realist or a person that likes to bet, I wouldn't bet too much against them. All right, there's the link if you want to join the show. One other thing that I was correct about, not that I'm patting myself on the back here. Yeah, buddy. No, not like that. But I said 2 years ago that bowl games don't matter. Bowl games don't matter. And everybody was like, you sinner, you don't like college football, blah, blah, blah. We hear that whole shit. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's welcome Breck off the program. Oh, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, buddy? I was just impressed of his knowledge of Russian nuclear physics and weapons, because he knows the exact blast radius of a foreign government's nuclear arsenal.
Well, but the radiance is what I was really impressed with. His use of the term radiance when it comes to nuclear weapons. I mean, I couldn't find anything about that. That's obviously in the advanced Russian novel that I haven't read yet. So,
yeah, they're mad, man. They're mad. My thing is, they act like they don't get compensated for being in the SEC. You get all these millions of dollars more. So you are automatically at an advantage in who you can get. So I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, I don't either. And, there's some Alabama fans are saying, well, I guess strength of schedule didn't matter to the committee. If you look at the rankings, it did. They ranked you higher than 4 or 5 other teams that had a better record than you have. How much sway do you possibly need to have with this playoff game? Why can't you just say, you know what? We lost to Vanderbilt. If we combine our entire offensive lines up at their ACT scores all together, they might get to the point where they're at one of the Vanderbilt players. All right? That's how much education and everything is there at Vandy. You lost to Vanderbilt. Just shut up. Shut up and get ready for next season.
They'll say, well, if Vanderbilt was in this conference, they'd be undefeated.
So that is another dumb comment. A fucking shit show comment. Well, Vanderbilt would win the ACC. If you truly believe that.
Didn't they lose to Georgia State?
Stupid. Yeah.
Who's 2-10?
Yeah, they did lose to Georgia State, but then they'll come back. Well, they beat Virginia Tech. I don't give a fuck. I mean, let's just make sure that we understand that. You cannot have this vacuum where you're like, well, Vanderbilt would win the ACC. You don't know that. You don't know that at all. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Well, we got a bowl game that might settle some of that bullshit.
Well, to be fair, sir, I was getting ready to talk about that. The bowl games have gotten to the point now where I've said they don't matter. And we've had things that have happened here lately. Just in the past couple of days. The entire, I think it was, 34 players from Marshall have opted out. The team's still going to play a bowl game, but they opted out. So you're not going to have that same Marshall team that was at the top of the Sun Belt standings going to play in their bowl game. So it's not going to matter on that front. Kyle Kennard today tweeted out from, which, by the way, that has to sting for you guys. But he tweeted out, hey, I'm going to the NFL. Didn't say whether he was going to play in the bowl game or not, but did say, hey, I'm focusing on going to the NFL, which means he has an agent. And if the agent is worth the shit, the agent has told him, do not take your ass out there and get your leg rolled up on and lose millions of dollars. So this South Carolina team is going to be completely different. The only games that truly, truly matter now, in my opinion, are the playoff games. And people get upset with me for that, but that's just the way that it is. Well, if the ACC goes 13-0 in their bowl games, doesn't matter. Same thing for the SEC or whoever. These games are all bullshit, made for TV nonsense.
Well, aren't there's playoff teams with players that have hit the portal, right? That are not like trivial.
Right. I think there's a couple, but not nearly to the extent of what I've seen. As far as the Marshall thing is crazy to me. Their coach is gone. 34 of their players are gone. You know,
yeah, it's insane. There's got to be something to start winding that back a little bit. That's something else I wanted to ask you about, because Bill Belichick is making $10 million a year for 5 years. And he said in his press conference, basically, I'm going to do this just like the NFL. I'm going to run UNC just like the NFL, which is a recipe for failure.
Yeah. Well, I look at the stuff with Belichick, and I just what are you doing? You know, when North Carolina has money, you know what I'm saying? They got a huge alumni base and they've got money, and I think they care somewhat about football.
They don't.
Well, I've thought that, but hiring Belichick just says, nah, we don't really give a shit.
Well, and they don't have the money you think they do. So even with like, oh, we have $20 million in NIL, how is that even verified? Like, how would I go check to make sure? Like, couldn't, if I'm Georgia Tech, just say, oh, we got a $25 million NIL offering? Who's going to tell me I don't?
And that's the other thing too. I don't know how much money any school has. You know, yeah, you're right. And then the other thing too is that how do we keep track of that? I mean, is it the way these collectives are set up? You know, I could put out there that I gave, let's go with Stewart from South Carolina. The number they have is $1.5 million. Okay, well, why don't we put out that we gave him $4 million? No one's going to know the difference, right? I mean, it's kind of the same theory. It's like, there's too many big numbers that are floating out there. I'd be stunned if one player got $1.5 million. I know that Tennessee had, $8 million for Nico, whatever the hell his last name is. I can't say it. And it's like, but that's $2 million over 4 years at a time. Still, it's $8 million. It's a lot of money to be given to 19-year-old kids.
By the way, they told me it was a major red flag that we gave Josh Petty the money we did. Meanwhile, these morons are paying a quarterback that ain't worth a shit $8 million.
But that, you know, I think that's something too, is that there are a lot of fan bases that have this unhealthy obsession with their quarterbacks. I remember Ryan Helinski at South Carolina, and everybody was like, man, this guy's going to be the savior at South Carolina. He came in and did some stuff, but then Mike Bobo got there and said, man, his footwork's terrible. And he ends up transferring to Northwestern. But I was at my daughter's winter concert the other night, and I look up in the gym where they're doing the concert at. There's a big Helinski's Hope flag there. And I remember everybody's like, man, this Helinski's Hope thing is a big deal because Helinski was big on, you know, suicide because his brother committed suicide. But people were pouring money into this left and right, and they cared so much about him. And that's how people are with their quarterback everywhere. So I wasn't surprised Tennessee gave him that amount of money. I just don't think that unless he wins a Heisman Trophy or a national title, is he really worth it?
Well, and are you going to – who was the major – because Major League Baseball is the closest equivalent to what college football is. Was it a team, Tampa Bay, that won a World Series like in 2000, and then they had to sell the entire team because they were broke? What I'm saying is, could you see college football teams end up in that situation where they go for broke to get? Well, and maybe even Lane Kiffin is in this. This is why Lane Kiffin is crying the way he is, because he convinced donors to pony up 10 million, and he's sitting at home watching the playoffs.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't think the program will be bankrupt, but I could see where some of the collectives could declare bankruptcy. And I'm not an attorney, but the idea of, hey, we're overspending, whatever. Yeah, that could definitely be there. I could see that. I don't think the programs are going to go bankrupt, though.
Well, no. My last thing is I actually edited that clip of that Gump guy last night on a live show.
Yeah.
What's the more concerning thing is your headphones, man. What is this set of headphones you got on?
Mine?
Yeah. Are those a studio set?
Yeah. Yeah, what's wrong with my headphones?
I don't like them. You need to get another pair.
All right. Well, I'll put one on the Amazon list, and Rec Talk, you can send $5 to it, and eventually I'll get them.
All right. Well, I will start the Rob NIL collective for a Sony professional set of headphones.
Well, look, they're Sony headphones. Sony headphones. See there?
That was like what I gave my daughter for her damn Watch Hello Kitty in.
No, they're Sony headphones.
Well, all right, man. Good show. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, all right, man. Thanks. Jackpot says every time South Carolina fans, Jackpot, y'all loved you some Ryan Helinski. Don't start that bullshit. Y'all fucking love Ryan Helinski. Don't come at me with that. You love Jake Bentley too. Jake Bentley's my favorite South Carolina quarterback. Oh, was he the never again guy? That's great. Let's welcome Peg and Megan to the show. Peg and Megan, good afternoon, sir.
What's up, Rob? How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, before I forget, it's something about my phone in this show. It sounds like I've got a terrible lisp for some reason. I listened back to it. I sound like damn Daffy Duck sometimes. So just wanted to assure everybody, I don't have a really sweet lisp like it sounds sometimes.
You don't have a lisp like the Comrade. The Comrade has a lisp.
Does he?
Bad. Oh, it's really bad.
No, anyway. I'm glad Rec Talk calls in from time to time. Both him and Sea-Dog. I troll those guys, but it is nice to have two guys with functioning brains as part of the college football trash talk community. So
right.
I like those guys. They're good folks. I think, Rob, you're right about bowl games. It's no measure of ACC versus whoever or SEC versus whoever. They started to lose their shine even before the playoffs started. Don't you agree?
I agree, and it's like, I caught hell for that, and it was like, you just don't like college football. No, I love college football. But as far as if we're going to have a debate over which team is good and which team has done more, etc., you can't use these bowl games as a canvas because they're just not – it's just not fair. It's not – none of these teams are the same as they were before. And, and people can get upset and angry about that, but it's true. Absolutely true.
It's amazing when you make a statement, the conclusions people draw that are just so wildly incorrect. It blows my mind.
Well, but on the surface, though, I could see where if you don't know me, okay, and you just hear me say, these bowl games are fucking stupid. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's not. Going to a bowl game isn't the prestige that it normally was, and I could definitely see where people are like, well, he just doesn't like the sport. I could definitely understand that, but
I'll give you a prime example. Who's notorious for that is Chris from Georgia. That's the guy who disappeared for 6 weeks after Georgia beat Tennessee and then showed back up finally.
He was busy. He said that he had to run a business.
Yeah, he wasn't busy the entire time before that. But no, Biscuit was on, and he said something about a particular loss, for the playoffs. And his immediate response was, well, you're just saying that because you're a Georgia fan and it strengthens your argument. The problem was this was the day after the SEC championship. They had already announced the seeding in the playoffs. What Biscuit said had nothing to do with that. And Georgia didn't need anything to strengthen their argument. They were the number 2 seed. I mean, what did he have to gain by that? It's just the conclusions that fans draw when you say something totally innocent, and they just take it and run with it in a ridiculous direction.
I've caught some hell from some Clemson folks because I've said I don't think that with Clemson's resume, they deserve to be in the playoffs. And they're like, "Pop, pop, 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 pop." And I'm like, no, just calm down. You got 3 losses on the season. You lost by 31 to a team that's in the playoffs. That's strike one. If that was the only strike throughout the year, maybe we could have a conversation about that was week 1 and things got better. No, you ended up with 3 losses on the year. And I just don't think that if we're just going on the merit of what they've done, they're not a playoff team. And people get mad at me for that. And all right, whatever. And I think that South Carolina has more merit to be a playoff team than Clemson. And, I goof on the Gamecocks all the time, but if we just look at what South Carolina did, they had 1 bad loss on the year, and that's where Juice Wells dropped nuts on their face again, and they couldn't mentally get past that. And other than that, though, they should have won the Alabama game.
Yeah.
They should have won the other game, the LSU game. They should have won that game too. But they didn't. But if we had their resume against Clemson's resume, their resume is better than Clemson. I don't have a problem admitting that. But once again, it's just like what you said. People take that as that, oh, Rob's not a Clemson fan.
And on that note, if you see Biscuit in there, go ahead and put him on. He said he was kind of tied up at the moment, but I was going to ask him to discuss something with me on your show.
Yeah, if Biscuit comes in here, I'll be happy to put him up there. That's fine.
But I do. First of all, I admire you for saying that about Clemson. You're probably right, but I don't think it's to the level where it's just some crime that Clemson is in there. That there is a good argument to have Clemson in there. But I get what you're saying.
Right, but I mean, I can make an argument that 2 or 3 other teams have a better argument.
They do, but I like who? Go ahead and name the 2.
It's hard for me to put Miami in the mix there.
Yeah,
but I could definitely go. I could go with South Carolina at 1. Alabama's a joke to me. The Vanderbilt losses and the Oklahoma loss. The Gamecock losses on the year are to an LSU team that's probably going to finish in the top 25, on the road at Alabama, who was a top 15 team, and then a top 15 loss at home to Ole Miss. Yeah. Those aren't – no loss is a good loss. But, as far as the other teams, I mean, you can make an argument for Ole Miss, a team that just was the only team I thought that really handled Georgia. I haven't seen Georgia handled like that in fucking forever.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for those 2 teams right off the rip.
People, whoever they're in favor of, they're going to include facts or exclude facts. That's how this whole thing works. And the fact is, Ole Miss probably didn't have as good a wins as Bama did across the board. But you know what? They're a 3-loss team who also beat Georgia and beat them worse than Alabama did. I mean, that's a hell of an argument right there. And as far as Clemson goes, you know what Clemson didn't have? They didn't have 2 losses to unranked teams, and one of them by 3 touchdowns.
That's true. The Louisville loss stings, but I was kind of, and maybe the way that I feel about Clemson is from the start, where if you look at the first half, and I rewatched the Clemson Georgia game earlier this week, the Clemson defense held their own against Georgia in the first half. Go back and just watch that, and you don't know what happens in the second half. That Clemson defense stood toe-to-toe with the Georgia Bulldogs, and they looked pretty good. So, but it's just the whole, man, we lost by 30 fucking points.
You know what, though? Oh. And they did hold their own against Georgia in the first half, but you know what? Pretty much everyone did. I mean, our offense in the first half of almost every single game this year has been an absolute joke. I can't figure it out. No one can figure it out. I have no idea. I've never seen it be so lopsided from first half to second, but that's just the way it's gone this year.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Well, hopefully we get a irate Gump to call in at some point. I've got my fingers crossed, Rob.
Hopefully. Look, and here's the thing. I had quite a few people message me on Facebook, a couple on Twitter, like, are you not scared of that guy? No, absolutely not. This is the guy that sits here and like, he's fighting with himself. He's not, whatever, man.
Will you give a tutorial at some point in the difference between radius and radiant?
Radiance.
Yes. Isn't radiant what Charlotte drew in her web on Charlotte's Web? Wasn't that one of the words?
Yeah, that was one of the words.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
Jesus.
All right, Rob. I've got some work I got to attend to, man. Good talking to you.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good day. All right, there, Peg and Megan joining the program. Someone we haven't seen in a while. TriStar, welcome to the program, sir.
Well, good to be on. How you doing?
How the hell are you, sir? Are you another truck driver that wants to, quote, blow my head off because I said bad things about your team? Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the other Tennessee fan truck driver that said they wanted to
I didn't say
end it?
Tennessee fan. I just said truck driver, sir. I just said truck driver.
Oh.
Which it makes it sound like I'm
the only
shitting
one
on
that I
truck
know
drivers.
of. The only one I know of that's in our community is Slim Shady Canes, and I know for a fact he wouldn't do that.
Let me make sure I put this out there. I say it sounds like I'm mocking truck drivers, and I'm absolutely not. The truck drivers are the fucking backbone of our country. Period. Everything that you touch in your hands at one point was on a truck. So shut your mouth.
Everything.
I'm talking about
material to build your house.
I'm talking about just the idiocy of this guy. He could have been an accountant, or he's not a nuclear physicist. We learned that, but it could have been anything. So
well, that just sounds like that old phrase my dad used to say to me if I did something ridiculous. He'd say, "Boy, are you dumb or are you stupid?" But anyways, so first round games. The first one, Clemson at Texas. I don't know. I don't think there's an elite team this year for anybody. Like, I think everybody in the playoffs can beat everybody. Does that make sense? Besides maybe
I like Oregon. I like Oregon over everybody but Georgia. I think Oregon's
not even impressed me that much.
Well, to me, they seem like they're just they're just a little bit different.
I mean, no, I mean, yeah, they got speed, but again, I don't know what it is, but they don't really impress me that much. But again, nobody really has this year.
I'm going to say something, and it may hurt your feelings, but I think as we watch a lot of Southern football here, and a lot of us don't watch those West Coast teams play. So I think a lot of times we may sell them just a little bit short. And I think that's for me, and that's for everybody.
Now, I've watched Oregon.
Real deal. They are the real deal, man. I mean, I truly think
they've gotten
really good team. So.
Oh yeah, I mean they got Evan Stewart. They got who's it? Trey Harris, I think, is one of their wide receivers.
Oh, Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback. You know, he's been playing for 500 years. Fuck you, Beggin' Megan.
It's Peggin, sir. Get it correct.
Peggin, begging, stegging, legging.
We don't need you to be in the radiance of him if he gets angry and blows up. God damn.
But anyways, Oregon, yeah, they went undefeated, but I think they've kind of coasted by having a pretty manageable schedule. But you know, it is what it is. They ain't lost yet, but
see, you can't make an argument like they don't belong there. You know, I could look at
teams. They belong there.
I could make an argument that Penn State is a shithole, and no one wants to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Penn State's
greatest win. I'll wait.
I mean, they don't have one. I mean, like Alabama fans were trying to convince me, like, we should have been in over SMU. I'm like, why? What have you done? Well, we beat Georgia. Okay, but you almost choked that game away. You were up by 28 points, going into halftime and you choke. And because of a bullshit catch by Ryan Williams, you win the game. Great win, by the way. And you go to LSU and you beat the crap out of them. But you also lost at Tennessee. You had a terrible blowout loss at a sub-500 Oklahoma team. And then I forget their third loss. Oh, they lost to Vanderbilt. So 2 of their losses were to 6-win teams. So I'm like, yeah, you've got a great win, but I'm sorry. To me, no 3-loss team should be in the playoff unless, you win your conference or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's still subjective. But anyways, back to the games. Clemson at Texas. I don't know. I'm like, what version of Clemson are you going to get? Are you going to get the one that showed up there for several weeks, or are you going to get the one that showed up against Louisville and Georgia? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could see either team winning. I think it'd be a great game. I'd maybe slightly lean Texas because it's in Austin.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Clemson will hang with them. The idea that it's an 11-point thing.
Clemson's defense is legit.
Yeah, the idea that they're 11 points better than Clemson is kind of silly.
That's ridiculous. See, as you know, I'm not some SEC homer, which, as you know, I will never claim Texas as a part of the conference.
Yeah,
but which I don't claim A&M either. But it is what it is. With
Rep Talk says if TriStar can make a good argument for why Bama should be in, then they shouldn't be in.
No, Rick, I'm saying that they should not. Rick, brother.
That's great.
Brother, man. Listen, I know you're pissed because Eric Singleton just transferred, but it's okay. I'm not talking why they should. I'm saying why they should not. I'm calling their fans dumbasses for trying to argue why they should have been in. It's just like the South Carolina people saying how they should have been in. Or the Ole Miss. I'm like, what about Ole Miss?
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about any of the 3-loss teams, it should be Ole Miss. That their win against Georgia was more dominant, and they went to South Carolina and beat them by 3 touchdowns. But they'll say, "Oh, Sellers was injured," so your defense is still legit. But the next game, Penn State against SMU. I'm probably going to take Penn State. I just don't know much about SMU. I'm just going to go with home field. Outside of Tennessee, Ohio State, what's the other one?
You got the SMU game. You got
Clemson,
Texas. Then
Tennessee,
you got
Ohio State.
Tennessee, Ohio State, and there's one more. I've got.
I forget I'll do the Tennessee, Ohio State one last.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I should have had that up. I'm sorry, but to go into the Tennessee, Ohio State one there, we'll go from there.
The Tennessee, Ohio State might be the most competitive of the 4 because Tennessee's defense, I think, will be able to hold down Ohio State. It's just, number one, Ohio State's down 2 starting offensive linemen. They're down their starting center. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're down their starting left tackle.
Well, the other game, by the way, is Indiana Notre Dame.
Oh, okay, Indiana Notre Dame.
So the battle of the Indiana State. Look, my thing with the Tennessee game is that it always seems like the Tennessee fans are like, man, we just want some respect. We want people to respect us. I think getting the thing where, Chris from Georgia was on here and he was running his mouth about, the game should be in Knoxville. I think, in my opinion, getting that game where you have to go up there to the Horseshoe and play in whatever weather they're going to have and have to deal with
which it wouldn't be much different than Knoxville, let's be honest.
Well, but all of that doesn't matter. If you go up there and you beat the shit out of the damn team that's the heart of the Big Ten, that's going to gain you respect with everybody. I would want that more than anything. So
to go to their place.
Yeah, go in their place and fucking leave, and you're eating Chick-fil-A biscuits laughing at them on the plane. That's what I want. That if I were a fan, that's what I would want. But
which I don't. It don't matter. I mean, would I have liked to have had a playoff game at Neyland? Yeah, but It's not. Hey, we're in the playoff. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that game, this one screams low scoring. Like this one screams like a 17-14, like low scoring defensive slugfest. I think the first team to get to 20 wins.
Okay.
Right now, I trust Tennessee's run game more than Ohio State's, so I'll probably, again, you might think I'm being biased with this, but I think Tennessee wins a close one, like 17-14, something like that. I think it's a low scoring one.
All right. Well, that's all well and good, man. Hey, I appreciate you being here, man, but I've got several folks that are in the midst here. So let me move on, and we'll talk to you later on, all right? Oh, TriStar just left. All right, there you go. Welcome to the program. Oh, look who it is.
Hello.
Hi. This is where you talk.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't think I got a good connection.
Oh, well, let me help you with your connection. It's as shitty as the Alabama football team losing to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt.
Yeah. That's all you got. That's all you can say, Rob.
That's
I
all
wouldn't
I
even.
need to say. That's all I need to say. Unless you're calling to talk about Alabama basketball, your season, as Uncle Lou would say, is over. You don't get to talk to me about your bowl game either, because no one gives a shit. I did not disconnect him. Let's make sure that people understand that. I promise you I didn't disconnect him. Let's bring someone else in here. Octavian, welcome to the program.
What's going on, sir? I just want to say first off, fuck Georgia.
Okay.
I just want to say that. And second of all, Tennessee, you got my full support this whole playoff run. Go Vols and make a good run to the playoffs. I hope you take the championship. I really do. I'm hoping that y'all do good in Columbus. I'm rooting for y'all. Hopefully y'all don't let me down. I got a lot of money on y'all. And SMU.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop betting your money on other teams, man. You'll end up.
SMU.
That Whataburger.
SMU. I'm going SMU. I'm riding away with SMU. I want them to beat Penn State in the cold. I got them, and I got them beating whoever they play next. I think they play I think they play Notre Dame or somebody. But Boise State.
I can't remember. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they'll beat Boise State. They'll beat Boise State. SMU got the easiest.
I gotta stop the program for a second. My co-host, my friend, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, says he's pulling for Tennessee too, real hard. Those are things I never thought I would hear. That's like Peg and Megan saying, you know what? I'm gonna pull for Octavian's Gators. This fucking bullshit that we have now has got people cheering for the wrong goddamn teams.
I'm going to root for Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm going to root for them, and I'm going to make sure that Tennessee gets to the championship. I want them to play Georgia one more time.
Are you going to suit up for Tennessee? Because they might need you. Who knows?
Oh no, they don't need me. I'm a diehard Gator fan, but I'm going to root for Tennessee. We did them a favor. Now they could do us a favor by ending Georgia's season by doing the right thing and ending Georgia's season. Fuck Georgia. I can't stand those bastards.
All right. Well, look.
I think it's another upset. It's going to be another upset. It's going to be Indiana's going to be Notre Dame, sir. I'm just going to say it. Indiana is going to be Indiana versus Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
I think that Indiana is going to lose to Notre Dame because Notre Dame has a more physical front. And I think that when they faced a physical front in Ohio State, they got showed up.
Yeah, they got showed up, but still, hey, that coach is a hell of a coach. I like him. And Clemson could beat Texas, but I don't see them get past the likes of
I don't think they're going to do that either, to be honest with you. I don't think that they're going to – look, I'm just saying, and I'm not calling for a Clemson win here. All I'm saying is that Clemson will be competitive in that game. They're
They
not
had a
going to
good
go out
season.
there and get blown the fuck out.
No.
Texas fans are like, oh, we've got, and they were putting this shit out the night before. Texas has the easiest walk to the championship game.
No, they
Motherfucker, are you
don't.
serious? Just calm the fuck down.
No, they don't.
Calm the fuck down. By
And
the way, Quinn Ewers has already quit on one team. He quit on Ohio
Yeah.
State, took $100,000 from them, didn't play a fucking snap, and then went down to Texas to play. He's got quitter written all over him. He's got bitch made bitch written all over him. He hasn't played well at all. He hasn't been worth the shit since he cut that fucking mullet. Grow the mullet back, sir. Let's try that.
He's sorry. He's sorry to me. And these Ohio State fans is soft as hell. And I'm just gonna rip them real quick. You want to get mad because people are planting flags on your damn oval? Just listen to this. Win the goddamn game and stop fucking crying, you big pussies. Stop. Let's win the goddamn game. Let's win the fucking game. Soft, pussy, pansy ass, charming, soft and Aston, cotton candy ass people. Just win the goddamn game. I hope Tennessee puts 50 on them.
You've been calling this show, I think, for like 2 years. That is the first time that you've said something longer than 8 seconds that has been very bright, sir. Just call in and just rip Ohio State every time about their fucking flag waving thing.
That was the dumbest shit I have ever seen. That's the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life. That is absolutely soft and pansy. They are soft. I hope Tennessee beats them by 60. I really do.
Sir Uga, I think, needs to take this back. He says Octavian is worse than dumb or stupid, whatever that is. Sir, do you disagree with what Octavian said about the flag thing? Because if so, we got some moderators and fucking mute people. You should like get in time out for a minute for that. Come on now.
Sir UGA. Fuck Georgia. Fuck Georgia and those fans. They have their case they coming. That Gunner Stockton dude, even though I wanted him from day one, I wanted him to be a Florida kid from day one. He is not ready for the big time. He's not ready. Their defense is suspect. They is ass. And if it's Notre Dame or Indiana, I hope they put it on their ass and they sorry as hell. They is sorry goddamn dog shit. And they need to be exposed. Those motherfuckers are foreign. They should not be in the playoffs. Georgia shouldn't be in the playoffs. They is horrible. They is goddamn horrible. They is the miracle team. They just think they can just luck their way into a goddamn playoff. But I tell you this, that damn playoffs, they better show the fuck out. If they don't show up one game, they're gonna be out, and I'm gonna laugh at them for 365 days till we beat them in Jacksonville, Florida, and Atlanta, Georgia next year. When we beat them in Atlanta next year, and we take back what's ours, DJ Lagway and our new offensive coordinator, and we fired our defensive coordinator. Thank God today. We fired him. We're gonna have a good defense next year. Florida State's trash.
I got it, Octavian. I got it. You were doing so good. What you should have done was sort of like, have you seen the movie Top Gun?
Yes, I have.
Right. You should have done like in Top Gun. You should have just ejected immediately. After your comments about the whole flag thing, people would have said, yeah, but you should have, before you started with this bullshit about Georgia, who's kind of owned your ass, you should have just punched out and said, oh, I'm out of here. And then everybody would be like,
I'll take South Carolina Gamecocks can beat goddamn Georgia Bulldogs this weekend. If they play this weekend, I'll put my money on South Carolina.
Okay.
That's sorry.
Why don't you put your money on South Carolina State? Just put money everywhere. Why don't you bet
North? South Carolina State will win the Celebration Bowl. But anywho, I want to say this. I just want to say this. Fuck Georgia. What is that? What's the Georgia Tech? The Georgia Tech man that beats me here, and his name is Road Dog. I really. This is my sincere prayer. Georgia Tech, please get y'all a good quarterback so y'all can beat those motherfuckers. Because y'all was one play away from those puppy, soft ass, pass ass program that I cannot stand. I can't stand Georgia, man. I can't stand them. I just pray for them. Fuck them. I can't stand them.
I love how you say fuck them, but I'm going to pray for them. I'm sure that'll work well on Sunday, sir.
I'm talking about Georgia Tech. I want Georgia Tech to get a decent quarterback,
So you're
so they
praying
can
for
beat them.
Georgia Tech, but you're not going to pray for Georgia.
Oh, fuck them. Fuck Georgia. I hate them.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to know
I
that
fucking hate them.
Jesus will care that you're only cheering for the nerds.
Yeah, fuck Georgia Tech and go Gators and Tennessee. Please bring it home, bring it to Knoxville, and tear down the goalposts. Go Gators.
Goodbye, Octavian. I don't know where to go from here on that. All I took from that and was he's praying for Georgia Tech and he doesn't like Georgia. I mean, holy shit. What a mess. So, yeah, I don't know where to go from here, man, on that. Anyway, there's the link. Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue where to go with that. Anyway, there's the link, and we'll go from there. All right. If you want to enjoy the program, here you go. I stand by what I've said about the bowl games. So if you want to talk about that, we can. Here's Jarrett. Jarrett, welcome to the program.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Good. I'm thinking more like still thinking about the Clemson Texas game. I still think Texas will win, but some of the Clemson fans are thinking they got a shot. Why do you think it is?
We talked about this Sunday night, man. I told you. Clemson's got a good defense. They can hang with them. And I think Quinn Ewers is soft. There you go.
But at the same time, Clemson gives away the lead. They give away games. That's another thing. They give away games when they shouldn't. You know that, don't you?
Okay.
They give away games.
Okay.
I'm not being honest. I'm not being a liar. I'm just being for real. And Texas, I mean, they play good. They play decent. I'm not criticizing Clemson. I'm just saying if they can hold out, maybe they could, but I'm not going to say they're going to beat Texas outright. They're going to have to really work a miracle. But as for Alabama fans, I think they're still butthurt because some of them, I don't know if they're over it. Because that one dude called you Sunday, man, he was in his feelings. He was in his feelings.
Well, he's waiting on hold. I was going to see if he was going to come on and say the same thing, or if he was just going to apologize and realize that his team sucks. So you want to hold on a second? We'll see what he says.
Yeah, put me back on after.
Right, there you go. Hold on. Let's see. Welcome back to the program, sir. Good afternoon. This is where you talk, sir. All right. You guys can see where I put him on. He's using a fake screen name today, and he just went away. So there you go. Jarrett, go ahead and finish up, buddy.
Yeah, so Kangaroo Black has his channel, right? I don't know
who Kangaroo Black is, but sure.
He has a YouTube.
Kangaroo Black.
He has a YouTube channel. He is a decent channel I watch. He wanted to get mad at me and make a short on me just because I said Alabama's not in the playoffs because they didn't earn their way in. He's like, how did they not? They beat Georgia. Okay, then why did they lose to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma? And then Clemson beat, SMU. They didn't earn their way in. They're not supposed to be in the playoffs. And then they have other people on his channel crying about why Bama should be in or saying we didn't earn it, but we still feel like the committee robbed us. I'm like, they didn't rob you. They said, they put you 11th spot, like Uncle Lou said. They put you in the 11th seed, 11th spot for a reason. They put you there for a reason. And then Clemson beat SMU, and it was a close game. And then that's their reasoning for why they kicked you out of the 11th spot. There you go. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
And then he makes a short on me for trying to explain that's why.
No, sir, respectfully, if you have an issue with, what'd you say this guy's name was?
Kangaroo Black. I don't have an issue with it.
I mean, if he's making a short of you, just go over there and tell him, hey, fucko, don't make shorts of me.
I probably will. I probably will call him. I'll tell him, but I had to explain to him. I was like, y'all got to quit being so salty just because Alabama doesn't get in all the time. It's not. It's Alabama isn't like the fucking golden goose. It's not always Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other teams deserve it too.
Sure.
But other than that, I think it's going to come down to Georgia and Oregon. I feel like it's what's going to come down to. In my opinion, looking at it, I could be wrong, but I just feel like in my gut, something tells me it's going to be coming down to Oregon and Georgia.
You're probably right.
And I know I love Georgia, but God, Oregon, they got a good quarterback, a great quarterback. I don't know how we can stop that quarterback, and it's going to be tough if we make it that far. Because I just, man, he'll give us some problems.
Cool, man. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate it. Enjoy the games this weekend, all right?
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. And once again, I'm not speaking ignorant of Kangaroo Black. I don't know. I don't know him. Maybe that's somebody. Like, somebody tried to tell me I should watch the Tennessee J show. I can't watch that shit. All the shit he stirs up with the damn clickbaiting stuff he puts out there. I can't watch that shit. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, yeah, we do have some games this weekend. They're kind of the shit games. We can definitely talk about that. And then go from there. So if you want to talk about the Heisman a little bit, we can do that. If you want to, we can do that before we leave. And then let's go back to here.
I don't.
Welcome to the program. Good afternoon, sir. Hello. I can hear you, sir.
Hello?
Hello. How are you?
Hello, I'm in a bad area. I'm trying to get a connection, Rob. I just can't get it. I just seem to can't get it connected.
Well, we can hear you. What do you have to say?
I can't get it connected. I don't know what it is.
Where the hell are you?
I'm in the middle of like Iowa, and there's like cell phone service like sucks out here. And I'm like hearing every other word you're saying, and then
Cool.
and
All right,
stuff
well,
like that. So I really can't get.
Did you call to apologize because you realize your team is really not that good?
I didn't hear nothing you said.
Oh, okay.
It just ain't gonna work today.
All right. Well, listen, stay safe out there. Did you hear that?
What now?
Stay safe out there, sir. We don't want anything to happen to you. Stay safe.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye. All right. Look, I got to finish up my workday stuff, man. I appreciate you guys for checking us out. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Rob Sounds Good. Follow Jackpot. Wife comes in with a bag. That's not good. Let's see what that is. We appreciate you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you later on.